Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Dr. Cool. In this very today video, I'm going to be making an experiment using this very system here. I want to be able to get a free electricity system that doesn't require charge. And that is the goal here. So what I'm going to be doing is taking power, which this very solar generator is generating from here, and I'm going to be feeding it back through the same back into the system here. So will it be able to charge it? Because if it can be able to charge it from its own power that it generates, then that's a game changer. That's going to be a breakthrough. However, if it doesn't, then what could possibly go wrong? Now, without wasting your time, let's get in. And believe me when I say what I found out in this very video here is going to shock you and it's going to change how you perceive energy. Watch it till the end. And I promise you it's going to worth a while. There's not going to be any cut. There's not going to be a lot of slides and a lot of transition just to keep it as transparent as possible. So let's get in. Okay, guys, I'm Dr. Cool. Part of the energy experiment which I'm trying to see through, there was something that happened off the camera before I decided to put this on a camera. And from here, there is possibility of a newborn of free energy, even from this very portable power station. And what I just did here is a practical experiment of trying to see if I can be able to keep the power that goes into this very system here consistent without getting discharged. And however, I think I'm seeing it right now, and based on what I'm looking at, I can be able to literally see the design flaws that this very system here have. And what is the flaws that I'm talking about here? The flaws is that the energy input here, the energy which this very charger, which is the charger that comes with this very system here, takes is equal to the power it sends back to the system, because that's literally what I'm doing. And if we can look at it here, we can see how many volts is sending to this guy here, which is 220 volts, and we can see how many watts is pulling, around 101 watt. Now, before this very time, before I started putting it into camera, it was on 73%. It added 1 bar, then later added the second bar. However, maybe there is something which this device is doing, because this device here is intelligent and both of them are intelligent. Before I added that bar, I was actually charging the laptop, 2 laptops. So this is an experiment phase Shouldn't be some sort of plain bias here. I'm gonna plug in back this one here and charge the Lenovo laptop. I'm charging two laptops at the same time, charging a Apple Mac Air MacBook as much as Lenovo. So I'm gonna plug in back and see. What I'm trying to see here is if there's gonna be a voltage drop when I plug it, or there's gonna be increase. I actually loaded it too. Let's see what happens. Now I have loaded it. If the system is actually, you just heard the sound of the Mac as it comes up. What I'm trying to figure out here is if the system can be intelligent enough. As you can see right here, it's pulling more watt because it's discharging. Previously it's around 101 watt. So what I should be witnessing right now is this power should start dropping. But if it doesn't drop, then okay, it's going a whole lot of 160 watts that is pulling, that is sending through the inverter system here, through the output here. And I'm going to tell you guys my own findings afterward. For so far, before this very moment, I think around 11 minutes or 12, we have waited for it to add 1 bar, and it didn't add 1 bar, and it didn't drop 1 bar either. So that says something. That means, like I said before, the energy input into this is equal to the energy output here. The energy input here is equal to the energy output here. However, the kind of technology we have today with AI integration or even something more, the energy input here should be less than the energy output. The energy output should be greater than the energy input. And what that means is, if it's taking 101 watts from here, maybe it should be taking like 50 watts from here and be producing around twice the power which is taken from here. There are a lot of MOSFET, a lot of chips that can be able to multiply the power. Okay, you can see right now it has dropped 1 bar because why? I plugged the 2 laptops. And it's really pulling a lot of watts right there. But previously, when I didn't connect any system, the system was stable. So let's disconnect it and see if it's going to add 1 bar again. Let's disconnect it. And you see the watt dropped significantly to 111. Now, just want to pull this one off also. And let's see if it's going to add just that 1 bar that just went out right now. However, if it doesn't add it, I am certain that by simply tweaking this very system here, which is the charger here, if the charger is going to be pulling less amperage than what it supplies, if the energy input here is less than the energy output out of this very system here, which is uses to charge the system. Now look at it, guys. There is no trick here. It just added 1 bar. That is 75%. And that goes to prove that when there are more load on it, the power just drop. But right now, as you guys can see, there is no any trick to what I just did right now. It has been all here, and that is why I didn't even edit the video. I didn't want to make any cuts so that you guys can be able to see it. So what I just did here is simply taking the same power that is coming out of the inverter system through this very DC and take it back to the system, which I call the closed loop system. So it's generating its own power that is using to charge the same system. So the design flaws which I'm looking at here is that it is possible that the company, the industry that designed this, want to make sure that the solar industry keeps selling, and by so doing, they may have, based on what I'm looking at right now, have designed this very system here that the energy input into this device here will be greater than the energy output. However, if you do the reverse of what I just said right now, then this system can be able to successfully sustain this very system without solar energy, without any external charge. What I mean is, when the energy input here is less than the energy output, so that means it produces more power on the output than the energy input, and in so doing, it can be able to use, that's efficient power system, it can be able to use yes, a mechanical advantage system. It can use less power to produce more power, and therefore, in such, why this system is taking small power out of this very system, is sending more power to charge the system. By so doing, this system will never run down. When it's trying to run down, it can self-charge itself without running down. Just like I showed you guys previously, it was 74%, and now it's 75%. And I'm certain, even despite the fact that this very system here, based on my own critical analysis, is designed in order to keep selling the solar panels and connecting to the grid. If it is redesigned, then this is a complete free energy system, which a lot of us has been talking about for quite a long time. So guys, the next experiment which I'm going to be running here is going to be a complete system, a closed loop system between alternating alternator and motor. So that's, you have a generator on one side and you have a motor on one side, and we do exactly the same thing we did here into that system, and let's see what is going to happen. But I have seen a lot of people who have did it and pulled it off, but people still don't believe it. That is why I decided to put this on camera today. No hidden trick, nothing, no any further energy source. If you look at this very system here, you can only charge it from here or here, these two charging ports, and you can see right now I'm taking power from it here and here. Now, those people who are trying to discourage you are going to tell you that the greatest trick in perpetual motion technology, which, because this is technically what they're going to tell you, perpetual motion technology is hiding the battery. But in this case, we're not talking about the battery. We are trying to recreate an infinite power loop system that doesn't require external charging or to be plugged. So guys, thank you for your time. Drop me a comment in the comment section and tell me what you think, based on my own hypothesis and so far what you have seen in this very 20 minutes video. Thank you for your time.